Do you consider yourself to be a Zionist?
No, not at all. So I grew up in a Zionist household and I went to a Jewish school. I think this has been a very common experience of lots of Jewish people. And I think our voices often aren't heard in the media because very specific types of Jewish voices are allowed to be heard. And they're the voices that are allowed to so-called represent the quote unquote mainstream organizations. And it's only in the last few years, really, as I've met lots more Jewish socialists, a group called Namod, who I believe are also in America, a group of Jews speaking out against the occupation, and also on the Palestine marches themselves, the huge Jewish blocks of people saying this is not in our name. And again, I think it's the way that some voices are allowed to be platformed and other voices aren't allowed to be platformed is it's very transparent.
I've spent my entire career and life explaining to people on the left, in Muslim communities, in pro-Palestine circles, the importance of distinguish between Jews and Zionists, between Israel and the British or American Jewish communities. Over the last week in the UK, I've watched every top politician and top journalist do the exact opposite. Go out of their way to say this is about Jews, not Israelis. In fact, I saw the Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch, do an entire statement on Sky where she said Jews, 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 Jews. Didn't say the word Israeli once. If you were watching, you would think Birmingham's Jews can no longer go watch an Aston Villa game. This is deeply dangerous, is it not? This is, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I feel like telling my Jewish friends and cousins and community members, like, this is bad for you because this is doing the anti-Semites work for them. This is saying, actually, all British Jews are easily swappable with Israeli football hooligans.
Yeah, I think I've got two answers there. One is political and one is personal. The political, yes, I think it's incoherent and ultimately does contradict everything that has been talked about for decades. But personally, yeah, you put your finger on it. It makes me feel less safe. Now, that's not to justify any anti-Semitism towards someone, whether they support the Israeli government or not. Those are two separate things. But without a doubt, this conflation, constant conflation, does make me feel less safe as a Jewish person because I look at what Netanyahu and Gallant do, and indeed when we invited the president over to the UK, and the idea that a Jewish person, by default of being Jewish, should in any way have anything to do with what's going on in Israel or feel any connection towards that government, I think is deeply, deeply problematic. And I think it's also pushed it to an awful place where I feel like I need to say that as a Jewish person because this conflation has got so bad. So it's deeply cynical. It's been done with a very, very strong political purpose.